Hello, happy Indie Animation Day. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please check out the Sunflower Club. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bella, and I've been working in indie animation for about 5 years now. I've done everything from voice acting to script writing to executive producing to even working on my own pilot, which is still in production, but it still counts. I've actually been told by several people I should make this video, so here's some bad things I've experienced or noticed while working within indie animation. I'm going to avoid using any names of people or titles of projects I've had bad experiences with, because I don't want to tarnish the reputations of the people involved. I respect everyone I've worked with regardless of my experiences, and I hope they're able to complete their projects successfully and work in the professional industry. They were also very young during these situations, so I'm hoping they have grown or will grow as a person. However, I will be talking about specific projects and issues I've had with them as a way to bring awareness to the negative sides of indie animation. I'd just like to start off by saying I really do enjoy working in indie animation. I don't mean to scare anyone away from it because it's a great way to work outside of big companies, but indie animation is not the perfect place a lot of artists make it out to be. I think it's important to share my story so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. The biggest issue I've noticed in the indie animation space is the constant calls for unpaid work. When entering the indie animation space, I knew nothing about the animation industry, so most of the projects I worked on in the beginning were volunteer projects. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's actually a big part of the reason there's strikes going on right now. Artists and creators are severely underpaid by big companies, so doing unpaid work just reinforces the company's ability to take advantage of artists. The indie community very much affects the professional industry. Also, you should be getting paid for the time you spend on projects. You could be using that time to create your own work or do commissions, but free work for other people takes away from your time to do those things. I've also noticed in a lot of occasions the creator of the project will get the most recognition for the project, despite not doing a lot of the work. I've seen tons of calls for artists that make it very clear that the creator wants everyone else to make their project for them for free, while they don't do any work besides maybe making the script. Personally, the only exception to this would be if I'm working in a small group with friends, where it's a completely different relationship and I have a lot more say in what I want to work on. For me personally, it's more like, hey, I'm bored, I want to write a song for like a couple hours, do you have any that need to be written? And they're like, hell yes, please. Another exception would be if you're developing a story with a group of friends. There's a big difference between, hey, here's a task to do for my benefit, and it's free, and you're actively giving your time up, versus we're all gonna work on this project for all of our benefits because we have the passion to make this as a group. And there's no deadlines, and it's very casual, and so there's nothing really to lose by doing it. It's a great way to work if, you don't have the budget, or you're like me and you're a broke college student. A lot of projects you will see will claim to be a paying project, but say something along the lines of, I will pay you when I get the funds from the project. Treat this as an unpaid project. The chances of them actually making money, let alone enough to give each person working on the project enough, is just not going to happen. I completely understand that a lot of people don't have the budget to pay people, but if that's the case, either try crowdfunding or just don't get other people involved at all. Everyone is capable of creating their own projects on their own. Will it be the best quality it can be? Probably not, but you'll be getting what you paid for. Time is money. I've genuinely noticed that projects done by mainly one person usually have a lot more soul to them because you can feel the creator put so much hard work into creating it. But projects that use others' free work end up feeling a little lifeless. I think a great example would be Bob's World, of which the first episode was animated entirely by the creator. I've been a fan of the project since before I even became a voice actor on the show because I could feel the life from the project regardless of visual quality, which already looked incredible at the time but seems to somehow get even better every episode. Wisdom was able to release the first episode, get a lot of fans through that, then start raising funds to get a team together. I think that's a great way to handle that, and the artists involved have really succeeded in continuing the show. On the other end, one of the main projects I worked on for a while had a serious issue with paying their artists, along with many other issues. The call for artists was one of those unpaid but we'll pay when we get funds after releasing projects. Being my second project, I didn't know any better and auditioned to be a voice actor. I started off voicing a small character, but eventually took on tons of other roles in the project, including scriptwriting, songwriting, and composition because it was a musical, and eventually got to an unofficial executive producer role where I was doing EP jobs but didn't really have the title. One of the main issues I had with the project was the fact that the creator had the extra money to pay everyone, but decided to spend it on random, unnecessary things and then complain that they didn't have enough money to pay people when anyone brought it up. And I don't mean unnecessary things lightly. I mean, they literally got several pairs of patterned scissors, 2 expensive mystery boxes, and a trumpet they didn't know how to play just to spend money. This happened multiple times. I let it slide for a while because I signed up to do free work, so whatever, it's their money. But what really got me to my breaking point, and eventually was part of what led me to leaving the project, was that they paid someone for doing a fraction of the work I was doing. Let me explain, because that does not sound the greatest. I made, I think, around 15 or so original songs for the show, not including some that were completely scrapped or redone a few times. There was one song in particular I was really struggling with because it wasn't really a genre I was used to writing. The creator decided to get someone on Fiverr to make the songs, which I was totally okay with. The issue was that it was going to be $25, but they said it was free as long as the creator shouted them out on their story. The creator still sent them the $25 because they did such a good job. I think they did an incredible job as well, and definitely deserved more than $25. But it was the fact that the creator chose to send them the money when they were given the choice of free work, and I put months and months of work into the project and got absolutely nothing in return. This isn't even the worst issue with the project. I had serious issues with them not crediting me in stuff they posted with some of my work, and because I had to remind them to do it so much, they started to make fun of me for wanting to be credited. Trigger warning. They included serious topics into the story, including a character that had been locked in a tower for 10 years and had a child from SA, which was treated extremely poorly, and I was ignored when attempting to call it out. They also said slurs and racist things, once while on a call with one of our black friends, and then apologized afterwards because they didn't know he was black. I could honestly go on for a long time because I have very strong feelings about the whole situation, and there is so much more, but it's no longer in production, and I'd like to keep it a little more on topic. 95% of the projects I've been in were put on an indefinite hold, canceled, or just straight up abandoned. This is usually because they're started when the creator doesn't realize how difficult it is to do a project this large. As someone who has made tons of mistakes myself with my own project, I firmly believe that someone should be a part of another person's project before creating their own and getting other people and money involved. Just having a little experience of seeing the process and the time frame would help creators prepare better, similar to how most of the creative industry is. Without preparation, projects get nothing done and stay stuck in pre-production. A project I've worked on for 4 years now has had this issue for the entire time I've been a part of the team. My roles were actually opposite in this project from the previously mentioned one. I went from voice acting, script, music, and EP to just voice acting over time. I've had so much hope for this project, but every time it gets to a point where they're making concept art, it all gets shut down and restarted a few days later. I've seen so many people come and go from the project that it's an entirely new set of people now. The main reason it keeps getting stuck in pre-production is that the creator is infamous for not being able to settle on a design for the main character. There was a point where there were several redesigns a day. I'm very proud of them for finally being able to settle on one, but it took them over 4 years. There have been so many scrapped pieces and scripts by volunteering artists, story changes, and design changes to the point where I would not be able to tell you what happens in the story. And I've been following it for like 5 years. Something I have a huge issue with currently is that because they can't get people from the old team to join, they're trying to find new artists to join the team, promising they'll pay them once they start crowdfunding. Promising money that you don't have is going to cause major issues in the future when there's no guarantee you'll get it. Those are only 2 of many stories I have from working in indie animation. Those are the 2 biggest and most impactful ones, but there's other smaller stories, good and bad. To end off the video on a not so depressing note, I want to talk about some good things I've experienced. I've made some incredible friends and online mutuals through indie projects, some of which I've even met up with in person. I've been helping a lot of them with developing their projects over the years, and I've joined a couple of groups for indie creators to support each other. This includes everything from small group chats to Discord servers to whole websites. In most cases, the indie community is super supportive of each other, and I've only had good experiences from people I haven't worked with. The point of this video was to share my experiences to hopefully help those of you who are interested in indie animation learn from my mistakes. If you have any questions about my experiences or about creating your own show, put them in the comments. I do plan on making a video on all the mistakes I made while starting my show, along with a bunch of other absolutely random video essay ideas, so if that sounds interesting, let me know. Here's some indie projects that I really like and some I've been a part of that will be linked in the description. Please go support indie projects today and forever, but today especially, and stay up to date with the next Indie Animation Days. Make sure to like and subscribe or whatever YouTubers say. See ya!